My goal in the next 5 minutes is to get you interested in the challenges facing the maritime community and hopefully inspire some experts in the audience to develop new applications of technology to meet those challenges. Now, admittedly, the Marine Transportation System, or the other MTS, as we call it, doesn't immediately spark everyone's interest. I wasn't enthralled by it until I began working with professional mariners and hearing the issues they face. So speaking of hearing, in case I wind up sounding like the adults in a Peanuts cartoon, here are the 3 key take-home points. Ports are really important to all of us, no matter where we live. Ports are facing growing challenges, and most importantly, you can do something about it. So let's start with something that is very dear to my heart, chocolate. Like so many other things we consume, there's a whole lot of water between us and those products. I don't want to think about life without chocolate made from cocoa grown in the tropics. But if you're not a huge fan of chocolate, which I cannot imagine, here's a small sample of the things we wouldn't have without our ports and waterways and the marine transportation system. Imagine 24% less wine available. The billions of dollars of exports which flow through our nation's ports serve communities around the globe and are vital to America's economic success. For example, US soybean exports account for 44% of the world's trade annually. Generating and sustaining jobs is a topic on many people's minds today. The MTS directly supports 16 million jobs in a variety of sectors. 13 million jobs, oops. Growth and health in our ports leads to increased prosperity. Now that I'm sure that I've convinced you that ports are really important, let's look at some challenges to safe and efficient navigation. Transporting people and goods by water has always been tricky. Tidal and weather conditions can cause ships to run aground, run into each other, run into other things, having disastrous human, environmental, and economic impacts. Likewise, operating conditions can cause very costly delays. Ships are getting larger and larger, and they're pushing the barriers of water depth, the limits, the bridge clearance. The margin for error is shrinking every day while the demand to take on 1 more inch of cargo increases. The infrastructure that we need to support this rapidly growing MTS is maxed out and aging, like me. The berth space, channel depth, anchorage areas have not kept pace with the capacity demands. So NOAA has developed some information systems to help alleviate some of these problems. Providing navigational information is a cost-effective way to optimize what we've got while we wait for the infrastructure repair and enhancement to catch up. NOAA developed the Physical Oceanographic Real-Time System, or Capital Ports, to meet the highest identified user need, access to real-time data. Ports is a natural evolution from the tide and tidal current tables that NOAA's produced for hundreds of years. Another information about the operating environment helps navigators load more and weight less. Taking advantage of an extra half a foot of wind-driven draft means loading a lot more coal out of Baltimore. Working with currents rather than against saves fuel. Another area where we've made a lot of strides is in hydrographic data collection. Higher accuracy sensors, better spatial and temporal coverage are all improving nautical charts. NOAA provides an extensive official online database of vectorized chart information, which is compliant with international standards. Value-added vendors use these ENCs to create products which enable operating in a wide range of conditions. But all the trend data point to continued increases in maritime traffic and in ship size. And along with that growth, many, many safety and efficiency concerns are predicted to increase as well. So this is where you come in. Tide-aware ENCs, which integrate observed and forecast data, are on the drawing board. And the goal of this or any eNav product is to reduce the information burden on the navigator, thereby increase safety. Another solution that needs to be developed is dynamic draft measurements. Having real-time data on wave-induced pitch or roll or heave or drawdown caused by the proximity to the bottom will enable big ships to operate more safely in confined spaces. So we want you to get on board. Hopefully I've inspired some enthusiasm for using science and technology to solve the very real world and very critical problems faced by the other MTS.